My piece is I'm going to speak on what is the life coach, what our role is, and how we can continue to be effective as a life coach. So I have a little PowerPoint when I'm a psychologist and I practice mental health therapy. So I believe in visuals. I believe people learn more through their eyes than their ears. So I'm waiting for the pastor to put up the PowerPoint so we can get started. And thanks everybody for being here too. I appreciate y'all. One thing we do as life coaches, we don't work with individuals, we serve them. We're in the business of servitude. What's the difference between working and serving? Working is when you wake up every morning, hit that alarm, slow around out of bed, like I gotta get to this job. Serving is actually going the extra mile to help serve them, to provide it to them, to pour into them. And I believe in this field that we do, we're ordained to do it. Like I believe that God blesses people to be heart doctors. I believe God blesses us to work with these young men and women and what we're doing. So Mr. Beverly told me don't hold on to you guys too long, so I promise I won't. I talk low because when I be doing my therapy sessions, everybody says I need to speak up. So if you can't hear me, let me know, please. What is a life coach? A life coach for gun violence reductions is a trained professional. The key word, trained professional who works with individuals at high risk of gun violence to help them build skills, achieve goals, and find alternatives to violence. These coaches are often from the same community. They serve and build trust with clients through INTISA, personalized support. What's personalized support mean when you hear that word? We all smart. What does that mean to you, personalized support? Absolutely, 100% geared to the individual. That's what a life coach is. It's interesting, when I first moved down here to Indianapolis, I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. When I first moved to Indianapolis, I worked at Midtown Mental Health, and I went to the Moselle apartments, right? And my supervisor, I think he sent me to those because I was the only guy on the team too. So they used to send me to the most roughest areas. And you'll be surprised how people in the community want you to help the individuals that they know need to help, right? So I walked in there, and it was like a project area. And so I walked in there, and everybody started surrounding me. And I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna get out of this one. So I had my work badge on, and I guess the elder of them all, who they call shot callers, came up to me. He grabbed my badge, and he said, "What are you doing here? You the police?" I said, "No, I'm not the police. I work for Midtown Mental Health. I'm a case manager. I'm trying to look for this young man in this housing." And he looked at my badge. He looked at me. He was like, "Oh, I know who you're talking about. He live right up there. Yeah, he needs the help." So you'll be surprised when we go in these communities how many people in the communities want you to help serve these young men because they learn through their own mistakes. So that's what a life coach is. Let me go to the next slide. What are some key roles? Building trust. Coaches focus on developing authentic, trusting relationship with clients, which is critical for effective treatment. Without trust, you have nothing. And a lot of times how you can build trust, not showing up every day, doing what you say you're going to do, but showing up when there's a crisis. Because you can show up every day and be there when they need you to be there. However, what happens is 1 a.m. and they have a crisis? What happens if it's 6 a.m. and they've been put out their house or they had a domestic situation in their home? Are you going to be there for them? That's building trust. INTISA support. Individualized INTISA support to high-risk behaviors. Often men with criminal justice involvement, trauma exposure, and negative social interaction. It's interesting, these young men that we serve, me and Mr. Beverly, we provide cognitive behavior groups for these young men. A lot of them have high episodes of trauma and have the lowest exposure to therapy. We always talk about food banks, but we never talk about, we always talk about food deserts, but we never talk about mental health deserts. That's interesting. Let me go to the next slide. Oh, also connecting the resources. They act as a bridge to social services, housing, education, job training, and mental health support. I say all the time when I work with these young men, what the most expensive thing in life is? It's not a car. It's not a house. It's advocacy. You can't put a price on somebody putting their name on the line for you. You just can't. If somebody's willing to go in front of that judge and tell you, I guarantee this young he's changed his life and he's going to do well. I used to work with this young man, and he said, "Mr. Davis," he said, "I went on your Facebook page." That's before I had a private. And I said, I told you don't go on my Facebook page. What you doing? Mr. Davis, I just wanted to see was you living the life that you was trying to lead me to live. That changed me. Because guess what? In this field, somebody's always watching. They watching how you live. They watching how you move. You're modeling the behavior for them to be a better man or a woman. That's a huge responsibility. So when he told me that, I was like, okay, I guess people is always watching, but it was nothing on my page that I was ashamed of anyway. My wife wouldn't allow that. Key roles and activities. Develop life and social skills. That's critical in what we do. Life and social skills. Coaches use trauma-informed approaches to help clients develop crucial life social skills, improve conflict resolution ability, and work towards long-term goals. You'll be shocked and amazed how a lot of these young men or women don't even have basic social skills. How they can't even have a basic conversation without being abrasive, without being taking offense, reacting instead of responding. Modeling them to be better young men and women in the community. Disrupting cycles of violence by changing individual mindset from violence, providing hope for a safer future that aim to reduce retaliatory violence and change the community. I don't believe in generational curses. I believe in generational habits. I had young men tell me all the time, I got to go to jail. It's a rite of passage for me to go to jail, Mr. Davis. And I'm like, you don't got to go to jail. But then when you get in jail, you realize that you didn't like jail. How can we break generational habits? When I work with some of these high-risk young men, they ask me all the time, like, Mr. Davis, how do you influence them? How do you get to them? We tried. I said, have you ever thought empowering them? Think about that. When we sit down with them every day, how are we empowering these young men and women? They said, how did you get them to shift? How did you get them to change? I said, I focus on their habits. Because habits drive behavior. That's right. Behavior drives decision-making. That's right. And decision-making drives what? Consequences. So everybody out here who's serving these in this population, focus on their habits. Because they're doing it subconsciously. Next slide, brother. Thank you. Practice, accept what you can't control. Recognize that some situations are beyond your control. Everybody ain't ready to be helped. Everybody ain't ready to be helped. And that's okay. Don't look at yourself like, what am I doing wrong? Because as long as you're approaching it and you're prepared, you're doing everything right. Everybody ain't ready. But they need to know that when they are ready, guess what? You're going to be there. That's right. Slow down. Slow down to understand the population you're serving. Take time to allow change. Every generation is different. What I used to do in my generation is a lot different now. Now social media. Back when I was growing up in the 90s, it was about making money. Now they don't care about making money. They just want to carry guns. It's interesting. They're wearing pajamas to school now. I went home to see my nephew. I was like, where are you going? I'm going to school. I said, you just got out of bed? No, this is my outfit. You wearing pajamas? Okay. This is a different generation. Be mindful of your triggers. Pay attention to what makes you feel impatient. Identify your triggers is the first step towards managing your reaction. Because guess what? This population will trigger us. One of my certifications, I'm a CSAC. I work with maladaptive sexual population that perpetrate sexually other people. And I have 4 sisters, so morally I don't believe in that. But guess what? They deserve a good treatment too. Don't allow your morals and your convictions to interrupt service. That's critical. Well, I don't believe in this, so you shouldn't be doing it. Well, that's what you believe in. But this may be their survival skill. I work with so many people, they be like, well, this young man ain't smart. But I'm like, he's leading a whole gang. He has his PhD in the street. Come on. How you going to tell me he ain't intelligent and smart? That's right. He has some leadership capabilities. We just have to redirect it to something positive. And that's our job as life coaches. Let me go to the next slide. Please, ongoing training. Mr. Beverly, he emphasized that with us. Ongoing training. I'm learning so much from him and also Pastor Dorsey and everybody else. Professional development, the continuous process of learning new skills, knowledge, and competencies to advance one's career through activities. Allow the men you serve to train you. Right? Because you're going into their world. They're not coming to our world. When you meet them at where they at, I used to do a lot of home-based counselor therapy. I still do every now and then. I work with high risk behavior. But I go in there and I learn their language. I learn their terminology. I learn the way they move. I learn what they enjoy now. Some of the language they be saying, I'll be like, what does that mean? Well, Mr. Davis, this is what this means. Okay, good. I'm learning myself. So it's really important not only that we get our professional, what's up, brother? It's really important we get our professional development, but allow them to train you. Allow them to encourage you, inspire you, let you know their world. Because you'll be shocked how peer-to-peer influence matters to these young men. Because we want to get to the point where, guess what? My boy told me about this program. My friend told me about this program. So where can I sign up? Yeah. If we do this right, they can be our biggest mouthpiece and our biggest advocate to help serve. Hey, I got a couple other young men I know is going to be great for this program. Y'all need to go. Think about that. Allow these men to train you. Please, we're not too big to be trained. We're not too big to learn new skills. We should always look to seek ongoing training. Always. Next slide. Humanize the population you serve. They are not high-risk individuals. However, they participate in high-risk behavior. I work with people all the time, and they say, Mr. Davis, I'm a felon. No, you're not. Your name is Johnny that committed a crime that resulted in a felony. What happens when we labelize them? Think about that. How many times have we done that? You a felon. No, you're not. Your name's Johnny. Your mama didn't name you Felony Davis. She didn't name you House Arrest Johnson. You're a person. Humanize them. Make them realize there's somebody. You know how many times when we work in this population, how many times people tell them you ain't nothing? Teachers, you ain't smart enough. I used to go to IEP meetings all the time. Your kid ain't smart enough. What? And then the parent agrees, yeah, something. No. Because if you labelize them, they're gonna respond within that label. That's my baby mama. No, that's the mother of your child. That's the father of your child. We got to be careful with how we labeling these young men and women, because they're gonna walk in that label. They're gonna be afraid to open doors, and guess what? The only thing they gotta do is turn the knob. Or guess what? They can go somewhere and just ask for a key to open the door, but they won't go because why? I already been labeled, I can't do it. Next, please. I think this is the last one. Guys, please practice patience. We can't change it when we're ready to change. They have to change on their own. And we can't save everybody, unfortunately. But please practice patience. And also, too, let's practice, what's tough love? I came up with this moniker. I should patent it before I came here today. What's tough love? When you hear tough love, what's some things you hear? I'm almost done, I promise. What do you hear? Because I know my mother raised me with tough love. What are some things you hear when you hear tough love? Yes, what else?
Personal accountability.
Personal accountability, what else? Being honest, some abrasiveness, chastising. Back in my days, you got spankings, right? We have to be careful not to tough love, because I'm being honest with y'all, tough love sometimes does not work. Your mom ever discipline you and say, I'm doing this because I love you? Well, I can't feel it with this belt. Or you're not letting me go to this party I want to go to with my peers. Because if you're so tough, by the time you get to the love, they won't be receiving it. So you love tough. What does that mean? You lead with what? Gratitude. Positive affirmation. Empathy. Care. Understanding. And by the time you get to the toughness, what is toughness? Accountability. That's it. I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed in you. You came short of my expectations. When people say that to you, that take the breath out of you. Like, dang, whew. My wife said that. Dang, I came short of her expectations. Because I can take you being mad at me. You're going to get over being mad. But when you're disappointed, love tough. Because when you redirect someone, it ain't constructive criticism, it's constructive redirection. So you lead with love, and then guess what? These young men and women will be what? More receptive to what? The toughness, which is what? Accountability. I'm going to end my presentation. I can talk all day on this because I love what I've been doing. I've been in this field for 24 years. God has blessed me to do this work. This is a story that relates to our young man. I'm almost done. This young man worked in the store. He was a store man. He worked in the store for a couple of years, and he went to his manager. He said, I think I'm ready to work with people. His manager said, I don't think you're ready to work with people. This is relatable to our young men, our women, our program, men in our program. He said, I don't think you're ready to work with people. He said, yeah, I think I'm ready to work with people. He said, why you think you're ready? I said, because I have the empathy, I have the heart, I know how to lead people. Because guess what? Everybody's leaders, but everybody ain't a leader of men. Everybody can't lead men or women. And the store said, manager said, I don't think that you're ready. He said, I think I'm ready. He said, okay, I'll watch you. I'll make sure I'll give you a recommendation, whatever I need to do. So, but first I need you to put these cans up in the shelf. He's like, all right, I'll do that. So we got on this machine, forklift, managing the forklift, put the forklifts up, the pallet fell over. Bam! All the cans on the ground. Some cans was bent, some cans labels was scratched off, some labels were scratched off on the can. The manager came down, so he hurried up, he looked at his manager, hurried up, picked up all the cans. He was gonna throw them away. The manager stopped it. Whoa, wait, stop. What you doing with that? I'm throwing the cans away. No. We're gonna put them in that cart over there and slap a half price off for them. He said, what? Slap high price off of them? Who wanna buy these bent up cans? Nobody wanna buy these cans. Besides, I don't got time, I got a date in an hour. No, I need you to do this before you leave. Oh, okay, I'll make sure I do it. So he was picking up, he said, I want you to take these cans and place them neatly and correctly in the basket and handle them with care. Right? He said, I'll make sure I do that, boss. Next thing you know, he picked up 1 can, 2 cans, 3 cans. He started to get frustrated. He said, you stupid cans. He cursed the cans. He kicked the cans. He said, if one for you, I'll be on my date. I got to push my date back. Stupid cans start throwing, he dropped a couple in, start throwing them in. Right? Slapped the half price off sale sign on him. I hope nobody buy you guys. Went home, but he couldn't sleep at night. Something was rattling his heart and soul and the spirit. He said, why does this man want me to sell these cans half off? Nobody want these. So he ran down to the store the next day, right? To his astonishment, all the cans was gone. He couldn't believe it. His manager walked in whistling. Hey, how's your morning? I'm doing good, sir. I got a question. Yeah, what happened to all the cans? Oh, they sold out. What do you mean they sold out? Who would want these bent cans? Nobody want these. The label scratched off. Nobody even know what's in half these cans. He said, you never understood. He said, it's not what the cans look like. It's what's on inside of the can. So if you're willing to treat these cans like this, think about it. You drop them. People going to drop us in life. Right? I said, I asked you to pick the cans up and treat them with care. You cursed them. You kicked them around. You threw them in the cart. You didn't even place them in the shelter where they could feel comfortable and safe. You threw them in the cart. And then you got mad at them. Then you thought they wasn't valuable. So if you're doing this to some cans, how you going to treat people? Think about that. How many of our men are bent cans? How many of us are bent cans? Because I know I'm one. How many of us treat them like they're bent cans? Because guess what? Since you may have scratches, since you've been dropped, since your label been taken off, don't mean not what's inside you can't be nutrient to other people, help other people grow. Can't help other people thrive. It's not valuable. So think about that with the population that we serve. Have that grace. Have that grace. Have that favor. What is grace? Favor when you don't deserve it. Favor when you don't deserve it. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody being here. I know this was an intimate, just a quick snapshot of what we do in the role of a life coach. But please take the words that I provided, put it in your heart, and please carry it on to the young men and women that you serve. Thank you.